He was out here warming up for about 10 minutes, but a big
8 on the floor.
Here's Butler. Jay Washington hitting a 3.
Likes to limit his minutes, but that's what he gives you.
Through the lane and into the hands of Clay. Catch and shoot for 3. Though, like we saw in November when he made his first.
But it's the accuracy that's impressive.
In the weight as we figure things out.
In a high turnover team, a little erratic.
Washington hangs and had it blocked by Pajemski.
And yeah, he's forward. So having that previous experience
to the Raptors after the game as Irving missed.
The part people may not see is how smart Butler and Iguodala.
Edwards, number 2 all-time in threes, obviously.
Not all games count the same. Both know how to play off the ball, on the ball.
Hangs. And it rolls. Warrior points, 3-pointer, no good. Open Green. Green no good. Court to Draymond. Green attacking. Foul.
Finish it. And Curry's pretty darn good.
And Green, over Denver, will face his former
shot. It never got off the ground. I mean, you guys don't know.
Step off the bounce. Can't. Fires underneath. Might have been a trap. As in the last 5 games was against Dallas. 3 of 4 shooting so far. Pulls up. Struggling so far. 0 for 5 from the first part of that trade for Luka Doncic.
What is it, 2025? Very good about it.
Well, there's no question. You mentioned the word stability.
Ball in the playoffs for addition. It's just huge.
Last possession. Christie's been great. All of them have somebody give him some minutes as a big. So
kid's right. That's the question, because he might best thing he does, but he's capable of guys back as soon as they can.
Butler in 2022. Marshall for 3.
Job by
has gone to the line an average of
to let him do that. It's not what Butler does, but Butler's
he'll pull up 4-3.
And they need.
Pajemski to the back
can really erase a lot of what
finds Butler down the middle of the paint and
in a more confident way.
This Warrior team started 12-3. Issue to Butler. Now we still have 2 months left to the
better record.
Here's Brown down the lane.
So no easy feat.
For 5 from the floor. Butler's 3. Now block. Brown got it back. Harass gets the 3 away in front of the.
And part of that hot start was Steph. This league.
It takes a team. Like I said, we just.
But it's not your issue anymore. Edwards misses. Irving.
Don't make them like they used to. Right? Point shot makes it such a different.
Got the defender off his feet. Pajemski left alone.
Clay is. I told you
during his shooting drills.
I was going to say hi, Dave.
Draymond Green. Warriors by 16. Thompson drive. The Warriors are 4-1 since they made. Finds post in the corner and floor. Warriors have numbers. Tracks it down. Shovel the post. 10.
In big games, he's got the big size, and with that 3-point
clock at 3. And 15th game, he started 7 this year. For coverage starts 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific with a lead bench last night. They lost a key game to
Bree of the East, and you got to play the games.
Marshall back into the paint. Edwards back after missing 7 in a row because of Sago and Danielle Scott today. Some of that out depending on the player.
I know. It is tough. We keep mentioning it. Dallas
win streak in November, December. Before the previous 2, he was lights out. Thompson and the Warriors in one of the games.
Yeah, Clay. He has played tremendous here. Tough.
His boat across the bay to get
took his boat over here.
Recently, here's Curry and he. Good look, Irving. Santos as Marshall fell.
Make a push. Looney get
more in 6 of his last 13 games. To Looney, got stripped. Moody clean
back. Lively's the one I don't quite know.
Expecting all of them to have a.
Obviously, Rob is Kobe's agent, so underestimate the fact that can really help. That trust help those
for Dallas. Marshall on the drive. Put him on Green, 7 points. Obviously here, not in studio, and Allen beating the Knicks.
Not what they do well.
Marshall, what a drive by Butler, shaking, heel, rhythm bounce. Laid back to 20. From Dinwiddie, Butler drives.
Money, to get paid.
And he got
team pick the direction is it his words.
2 games above 500.
His game on the biggest stage. Talking about these final 26 games as he keeps moving, saying they're feeling this.
Finals 2 out of 4 years. Foul on Payton. Check that. Fouls on Hield. In here last weekend. Instead, Pajemski games back of avoiding that and getting. Here's Moody from the corner in the last meeting a week ago.
The biggest message at the half, and really just Kyrie Irving. The last time these teams.
They have won 5. Derek Lively, Dwight Powell missing his 8th straight game with a hip injury. Curry driving on Thompson and puts it for the first time in 4 years. Curry. Pajemski bumped by Steve Kerr to call an early timeout, but last night in the win over Denver. What a pass by the Warriors. Driving and
since he's been in the starting lineup, and Steve doing that, but It's a lot of
consecutive games, a rarity.
Look at that stat right there. Just
To the third quarter. From Green, but then on the follow through.
stay out of that play. Nobody wants to be in that play. Is also
a season long. Floater 40% for 3 on the season.
pulled up himself, but saw get going himself, and now
with the foul is third. Thompson, he's 35 years old. It's it's significant.
Well, the rehab alone, Dave, just the
Irving on the back cut. Drives, and you got one of the greatest free. 18 points so far. City 45-10. Boy,
I was in studio for that. That was took him a long time to say it.
Was approximate foul on Green.
Track the success rate of the success rate, but good job there.
But again, will it be enough? Can they get stopped?
His body's just still competing. Still, we saw it last year in their run to the finals.
Good for a guy like Max Christie.
Tax that you don't maybe get as much.
Comes to the arena earlier to the arena on Friday, second to only LeBron, saying he's leader of Dallas's team this year.
Irving, your best players being your best lead
On habits. Oh, wow. You did playoff games of the Mavs of that team. That's not a knock on them. We're going for it now. And
after injury, this is the 5th straight game he's not on the other side. Is this an opportunity to learn from this when it comes to
him? Because he do with that, and I don't know, Luke. You couldn't find one that has LeBron James there, or one of them. You can't put him next to him. LeBron does at 40 years old.
This 7th Warrior. Curry gives it up to Santos. The 2nd three.
The Mavs just fighting to stay. He's 10 of 17, banging down
On the floor right now as Curry.
It's like a 5 p.m. go to bed. 2.5 minutes to go. I mean,
Tries past 2 guys. Banks in the Curry and still going. Looney. 38. He's up. And they're going to call an offensive. Curry.
wish I had that kind of confidence.
This league is a foul is called here. Got here. Curry's numbers went. Butler on the floor.
Now you see probably a bad, and there's no reason to believe it isn't, but some of it is, and where he can get this Warriors team to the innings.
And the Columbus Blue Jacket. Final minute and can't kiss it home. Pace. About a 4-second difference. Leans in. Tries to create. He's the 5th leading scorer in the NBA.
Who's going to separate themselves?
For the first time, 500. Haven't been there in a few months. Here's Pajemski in the lane.
And with the rest of the stretch, until they get somebody back, environment without any help from any big guy.
The other 3 bigs are still out.
Good chance they end up here. And you watch this game, the Warriors are going to kill that. Well, Clippers and all these. It's not to say they couldn't get knocked out sometime.
There's Prosper, 3-pointer. In 4th. Houston most of the season without Kawhi Leonard. Pajemski corner 3. Got it. Bang! Phoenix is 2 games back in the long. I don't know that we'll see them again. Here's Brandon Williams.
About fitting him back in. Certainly able to make that stretch run Tuesday night, and maybe uncomfortable in his game for sure.
Right now. He had a great rookie year. Kevin Knox is on the floor, so 6. And Wade.
Hard thing. And I don't know, a year before in the first deal done. But when he came, he asked Andre to come off the bench. And it allowed everybody to kind of
a long stint in Philadelphia where he started his
offensively. Andre did. He could go, and you try to convince him, just stop, figure out the money. Dave Pash, one of my coworkers.
Fishing skills.
Well, I mean, he came back. A lot of them certainly don't. When we would do walkthroughs, what we need to do, we need to get one of the smartest guys really to ever.
Mavericks will fall to 30. And that's his 15th straight game. A 5 so that he could play.
Talk about Boston doing it.
Yeah.
And so maybe kid's onto something now.
A year ago.
Yeah, and Nico Harris, we'll see.
Santos hits a 3.
Remembering that.
In this game, if there was a tiebreaker. They're 5-1 since the Jimmy Butler. 13 of his 18 points in that spot. Here's Moody from the corner. Points, as we mentioned, Thomas none in the last meeting a week ago.
Coach Jared Dudley, just about the biggest message at the half and in the first half. And as you mentioned, really just Kyrie Irving. The last time these teams, we have to get more shooting around them guys.
They have won 5. Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively, Dwight Powell, success. But he's been out, missing his 8th straight game with a hip injury. 2 of 11 overall. Curry driving on Thompson and puts it. Consecutive 30-point games for the first time in 4 years. Butler looking for Curry. The game. Pajemski bumped by it. Yeah, they led 9-4. That forced Steve Kerr to call an early timeout. But Doncic had his best game as a Laker last night in the win over Denver. What a 8-0 run right now by the Warriors. At 3. Thompson driving. And
he's done a really nice job, Pajemski, since he's been in the starting lineup. And Steve Draymond Green at the 5 doesn't love doing that, but it's a lot of
in green. Those are the 5 we've had now consecutive games. A rarity in the NBA behind Philadelphia.
Look at that stat right there. Just
20-point lead, 3 minutes into the third quarter. Those winning streaks. Washington knocked it away from Green, but then on the follow-through,
they're themselves trying to stay out of that play, and nobody wants to be in that play. For the Mavs, that guy we just saw, Anthony Davis, is also
consecutive 20-point game, which is a season-long. Floater 3. He's actually shooting under 40% for 3 on the season.
Kyrie had his own shot, could have driven or pulled up himself, but saw Clay score to get going himself, and now bring some good possessions together.
Christie with the foul is 3rd. Thompson to be back in this position. He's 35 years old. It's year at this age to do what he's doing. It's significant.
Well, and just the rehab alone, Dave. Just the basketball, just work ethic.
Irving on the back cut. Working on Christie. Drives, float.
Commit now is going to be free throws.
And you got one of the greatest 18 points so far. Cleveland 46-10. Oklahoma City 45-10. Boy,
team. I mean, the Cavs are. I was in the studio for that. That was on that one. Does I get credit that it took them a long time to say it?
Right, that they maybe were looking to see if there was a proximate foul on Green.
Fascinatingly, you can track the success rate of the. You're failing. You have a 60% success rate, but good job there.
For the 2 struggled in the first half, but again, will it be enough? Can they get stops?
Team is pretty banged up, and his body's just still competing. Still know that he had it, and now we're seeing it. I think we saw it last year in their run to the finals.
Kerr players, and now he'll be really good for a guy like Max Christie.
Focus on one guy and watch how he reacts that you don't maybe get as much.
Habits and how he comes to the arena. Earlier, Christie actually beat him to the arena on Friday. Also the case in LA, where he was second to only LeBron, saying he's the Mavericks team as the full-blown leader of Dallas's team this year.
Important is it to have players like Irving, your best players, being your best leader?
Maybe mentor Luka on habits. Oh, wow. Even last year, we covered the finals. You did playoff games of the Mavs. As the leader was Kyrie of that team. And that's not a knock on Anthony Davis, 5 years older. So the idea was we're going for it now. And
ends of the floor, but suffered an adductor injury. This is the 5th straight game he's made of Kyrie Irving. How about on the other side? Is this an opportunity to get them to the finals? Can he learn from this when it comes to?
Certainly imagine it shook him because we're also shocked. What will he do with that? You know, I don't know, Luka. A message. You couldn't find one that, but again, he has LeBron James there. Work ethic and preparation are one of them. You can't put him next to him. You can't sit there if you're Luka and watch what LeBron does at 40 years old.
Being retired. His 7th Warrior and a Finals MVP. Quarter. Curry gets past him, gives it up to Santos. The 25 for Curry, his second 3.
Too many of those, especially with the Mavs just fighting to stay efficiency, but not today. He's 10 of 17, banging down.
So much less when now Butler's not on the floor right now as Curry.
Is that an early good night call? I feel like it's like a 5 p.m. go to bed. That's an early call, right? I mean, third quarter, 2.5 minutes to go. I mean,
Curry made 2 in a row. Now he drives past 2 guys, banks in a 30-point afternoon for Steph Curry, and still going. Court. Looney. 30 points. His season high is 38. He's up.
Coming out of the timeout.
And they're going to call an offensive foul.
Left hand.
Well, Curry.
Wish I had that kind of confidence.
Some confident dudes in this league as a foul is called here. When the Butler trade happened, before Butler even got here, Curry's numbers went. Things have been for Curry with Butler on the floor.
Emotional bump that you get. You know, you see probably a bad example. is it sustainable? And there's no reason to believe it isn't, but some of it is fascinating to see how long it goes and where he can get this Warriors team to.
Columbus at Ohio Stadium. It's the Red Wings and the Columbus Blue Jackets for college football. Final minute, drive on Christie, get him off his feet, and can't kiss it home. Sometimes they play at a very frenetic pace. About a 4-second difference driving on Exum. Leans in, tries to create. But in the month of February, he's the 5th leading scorer in the NBA. First 3 months of the season.
Here's the question, though, on a bigger level. Who's going to separate themselves?
To win for the 3rd straight time, for the first time, stretch to get them 3 games above 500. Haven't been there in a few months. Podziemski, Moody, and Post. Here's Podziemski in the lane.
And he's just going to, not just today, Dave, but the rest of the stretch until they get somebody back, do it in a very difficult environment without any help from any big guy.
Derek Lively, Dwight Powell, the other 3 bigs are still out.
Lift, which we're already seeing. Good chance they end up here. Going to definitely win that series, right? And you watch this game, the Warriors are going to kill that. Well, and Memphis and the Lakers and the Clippers and all these, the fray. But it's not to say they couldn't get knocked out. Some of
that Denver loss last night. Here's Prosper, 3-pointer. You get the Lakers in 4th. Houston in this year, as well as they've played most of the season without Kawhi Leonard. There, now Butler down court. Podziemski, corner 3. Got it! Is a game back of them in the loss column. Phoenix is 2 games back in the loss. Checked out. So is Klay Thompson. Don't know that we'll see them again. Here's Brandon Williams.
Well, they haven't been whole for quite some time. Then it's about fitting him back in. Certainly up. And who's going to be able to make that stretch run? Well, I think it'll be fascinating Tuesday night and maybe uncomfortable. And that'll be an overanalyzed game for sure.
Playing his best basketball of the season right now. He had a great rookie year. Kevin Knox is on the floor, so but obviously the goal is to not be in the top 6 and weigh that. Hardy.
More important than people think. You know, and I don't know on that team. We lost to the Clippers the year before in the first round. People thought to get that deal done. But when he came, he story because that's the year Steve Kerr asked Andre to come off the bench. It allowed Steve to coach the team. And it allowed everybody to kind of
Denver for a year after a long stint in Philadelphia where he started his
defensive team. He just made you that good defensively. Andre did. He could go up his mind. And a lot of times you meet with a free agent, you try to convince them. It just said, stop. I don't even know I want to come. You know, just stop. Figure out the money. Some contracts. Richard Jefferson, one of the guys, Dave Pash, one of my coworkers. But we've talked about this before.
Diminishing skills.
Well, I mean, he came back around. All NBA basketball players, professionals. A lot of them certainly don't. So many times, Dave, in a playoff series, when we would do walkthroughs, that's a good idea. But here's what we need to do. We need to. You think that's best because he knew so much. One of the smartest guys, really, to ever.
Post 3 short. Mavericks will fall to 30 in LA against the Lakers. And that's a foul. His 15th straight game. Powell, his 15th straight game. Interviews he did with ESPN was he wanted a 5 so that he could play.
You see Cleveland, I guess you can talk about Boston doing it. You play him with Towns.
That's a good thought, yeah.
And so maybe kid's onto something now.
In that postseason for the Mavs a year ago.
Yeah, and Nico Harris, a lot of people upset, but we'll see. You know, it's NBA Finals last year.
Santos hits a 3.
Watching that and remembering that. And
but it finishes 2-2. Had Dallas won this game, if there was a tiebreak, 27, they won 3 in a row. They're 5-1 since the Jimmy Butlers. Jimmy Butler had 14 of his 18 points.